Let's get you set for the Liberty Bowl. We've got Texas Tech taking on Arkansas. It's always a Big 12 SEC matchup, and it's got all the potential for a wild, crazy game, not necessarily saying good football, but just a totally wild and crazy game. I'm Pete Mundo. We're Heartland College Sports. We appreciate you being here. I will be rolling out previews and predictions of every Big 12 bowl game in the days ahead. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that like button on the video. And if you're on the podcast, subscribe there as well. I will give you a preview and a prediction for every single Big 12 bowl game happening over the next week or so. So this game is fascinating because there's a lot of opt-outs, a lot of guys who aren't playing from the regular season for these two teams. And you understand it in part, right? You get it. The world has changed. These bowl games have changed. We know what they're all about. For Texas Tech, the big missing piece is quarterback Behren Morton. He underwent shoulder surgery, but if you're an Arkansas fan watching or listening, just know this. Backup quarterback Will Hammond, a freshman, a lot of people believe that his ceiling as a former four-star prospect is higher than Behren Morton's. Now, he doesn't have the experience, but don't assume, the backup quarterback is playing, therefore we're going to take some points away from Texas Tech. That's not the case here. The bigger question for Tech is what's going on with Taj Brooks, the running back. Is he going to play? 1,500 yards, second team all Big 12. I think pound for pound, he's top 2 running back in the Big 12. And the Big 12 was stacked at running back this year. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. Joey McGuire said on Thursday that Brooks is 50-50 to play. Now, what happened? People interpreted that as him playing. The spread moved about 3 points towards Texas Tech after Joey McGuire said that Taj Brooks is 50-50 to play. He has been practicing in Memphis. He's obviously there for the game. And the belief is Taj Brooks will play in the Liberty Bowl against the Arkansas Razorbacks. So if that's the case, that is a huge addition for Texas Tech in this game. Now, you look at what's going on with Arkansas. You have an Arkansas team that is missing a lot of pieces, okay? I mean, you're talking about guys who are opting out left and right. You've got an Arkansas team that I believe I saw only had six scholarship guys along the line. I mean, that's how rough things are right now when it comes to where this program is at going into this bowl game. I mean, it's even weaker than I thought coming into it. But then when I looked at it and I said, my gosh, injuries, opt-outs, the depth is just not there right now for Arkansas. It's a major problem when you look at how you're going to handicap this game and how you're ultimately going to end up picking this game as well. So you've got, of course, two teams who are undefeated under their current head coaches in bowl games. Joey McGuire and Sam Pittman are both 2-0 in bowl games as the coach of their respective teams. But who has the ability to take advantage of the other team's weakness? That's what this ultimately is going to come down to. Okay? And to me, Texas Tech is weakest on the back end. Texas Tech was absolutely horrible at stopping the passing attack. They couldn't do it all season. The question is Arkansas going to be able to take advantage? Will they be able to do that? And I'm not convinced that they're going to be able to do that. I'm not. I mean, they have every opportunity to do it. I just don't know if Taylen Green is going to be able to find the targets he needs to find. Guys like C.J. Brown in line for more snaps because his top target, Andrew Armstrong, isn't playing. So you've got guys now who are going to have to step up. And Taylen Green has an opportunity here to give himself a lot of offseason momentum with a big game. And he can do it because Tech didn't stop a lot of people through the air. But I don't know if he's got the pieces around him. And it's not just at wide receiver, it's also at offensive line. That's right now where Arkansas is not holding up well coming into this game. They lost 3 offensive linemen to the portal. On the other side of the line, they lost 2 defensive linemen to the NFL draft. I mean, they are weak right now in both sides of the trenches. And while it gives opportunities to young guys, there's a concern about protecting Taylor Green and establishing the running game. So you're going to have true freshmen likely starting on that offensive line. Former walk-on guys are going to be on that offensive line. That will create a major opportunity for Texas Tech. Now, Tech was not great at getting to the quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. But if they can take advantage of the youth and the weakness potentially along that front for Arkansas, that could lead to a big day for Texas Tech. And then on the other side, Taj Brooks. How do the Razorbacks try to stop him? I'm going to go with the fact that I think he's going to play. Okay, I know McGuire said 50-50. I think he's going to ultimately play. And Arkansas does have a very good rush defense, and they still have their top 3 tacklers. So how do those guys slow down Taj Brooks? I still think Tech has the advantage there in that part of the game, but it's definitely something worth watching as we kind of await to see what's going to happen in this Liberty Bowl and whether or not he's going to play. If he doesn't play, expect true freshman Cameron Dickey, who had about 20-some-odd carries this year, to get some time. Jacoby Williams also to get some time. They're both true freshmen. They have talent. But listen, you're not replacing Taj Brooks. You're just not going to do it. So this game, it just feels like, if you're a Big 12 fan, the Liberty Bowl from 2 years ago when Arkansas, ironically enough, went into triple overtime against Kansas and Arkansas won 55-53. Remember that game? Jalen Daniels just went totally bonkers. I mean, it was nuts down in Memphis. This has all the feels of that kind of a game. I don't know if either defense can really stop anybody in this game. The last team that has the ball, a 2-point conversion in overtime, could ultimately end up deciding this one. That's how I could see it end up playing out. And, if it doesn't play out that way, it's going to be because, frankly, I think Arkansas just doesn't have the pieces and the horses they need to keep up with Tech, who also has injuries and may have more opt-outs come kickoff time, but has the depth that you want to have in this game. And don't forget, all the talk about Arkansas and the mighty SEC, Arkansas lost to Oklahoma State, who went 0-9 in the Big 12. And you can argue that teams in September are different than they are in October and November. That's fine. But my gosh, Oklahoma State was the worst team in the Big 12, and they beat Arkansas. Let's not forget that. And while they might have a different result had those two teams played in the last couple of weeks, I don't want to understate it. So I'm taking Texas Tech. They're, depending on where you're at and when you're watching this, they're anywhere from a 1-point dog to a 1-point favorite. I've seen it at a pick'em. The line moved, of course, when Taj Brooks was announced as 50-50. The assumption is he's going to play. I will take Tech minus the 1.5. That's where I'm at right now. I might buy it down to 1 just to get myself a push. I think it could be that close and that crazy of a game. But I will take Texas Tech minus the 1.5. It might be moving by the time we get to kickoff, but I do believe that they will have the pieces they need at quarterback, at running back, enough on defense to win a very high-scoring game, something like 38-34 over the Arkansas Razorbacks in the Liberty Bowl. I'm Pete Mundo. We're Heartland College Sports. We cover the Big 12. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll have previews, predictions for every single Big 12 game, Big 12 bowl game, and we got a lot more coming your way. Thanks, guys, for being here. We appreciate you, and go Big 12.